We have got an exciting pro bike today. Patrik Nilsson's Red Bull BMC Speedmachine. Look at that bike. Okay, we've all seen the very exciting release this week of Red Bull BMC's collaboration. A collaboration between the Red Bull Formula One team and BMC bikes to make what they called the world's first Formula One bike. The world's fastest racing bike was the goal in the design. So we have a chance to get up close and personal with the bike that Patrik Nilsson will ride this weekend and see all the details that he's chosen for it. Some of the things we haven't seen before because they weren't in that initial press release. This is the triathlon ready version with some Patrik Nilsson tweaks. So let's dive into the detail. Okay, let's start up at the front with the cockpit. He has a Unico Custom Bikes 3D printed armrest, and you can actually see that his hands are going to be on top of each other. He's got both those buttons for the DR2 together at the front, armrests that go all the way up. We've seen this quite a lot. So he's got a full forearm rest there, and in between it he's got a perfect little space for his Wahoo element bolt. It slots right into that space where he can see it, but where it doesn't get into the wind at all. Also interestingly on this cockpit, and you see this quite a lot with custom 3D printed stuff, there isn't really anywhere for the junction box for the DR2, so it's stuck on with Gorilla Tape on the top of that head tube, or stem, I suppose you would call it. A little bit messy. He's also got some cable ties holding on that special custom 3D printed bottle on the front there. Again, it's custom 3D printed. You expect a little bit of hacking to get it to fit perfectly. Looking down below that cockpit, we have these wide stance forks. Obviously, these are now possible with the invention of disc brakes for these time trial bikes, and it's really wide. It does have a very Formula One-esque feel to it. I kind of like it. It's got a bit of a fairing underneath those forks too. Some kind of wind skewer, I suppose, to guard the wind underneath there. It's a very interesting design. Like I said though, we don't have any information from the aerodynamicists on what exactly they've done here, but it is interesting to look at. Further down the bike, he has replaced the storage tube, which we saw on the press release of that Red Bull BMC Speedmachine, with what is a hydration pack, I suppose. It's got a special cap that you can lift up to refill. If I do that, it's got a little cap. I think he might lose that on race day because it does seem to pop off quite easily when you're trying to refill it. The straw for that is going to go straight up. There's a perfect little hole here, and then it comes out here and it's going to go straight up to his mouth. He's got a second hydration bottle, also refillable and 3D printed with a straw coming out of it. I assume he's going to have two mixers, one in each one, maybe water in one and energy mix in the other, and he's going to swap those or refill those on the go. We did look at that original Red Bull BMC bike that was released, and there were no bowl cages on it anywhere. It was almost like they had completely forgotten that triathletes need to drink while they're racing, but clearly they did think about it because he's got this very special hydration pack there. He's definitely going to need to refill it a few times, and nowhere to put just a standard water bottle that he might grab at an aid station. So when he does grab that water bottle, he is going to have to decant it into one of these two hydration packs as he's going. Coming further back, and again, something we didn't see on that original Red Bull BMC press release, is this storage for tools. We assume it's tools. He's got it taped shut, and I'm not going to tear that open to see what he's put inside there. But it fits really neatly and creates a wider fairing. Obviously, it wouldn't be UCI legal, but doesn't need to be UCI legal for this particular race. Similar with that hydration pack. So that's obviously why he's got these different options available to him. I'm not sure what he's got in there. I assume it's going to be spares. He'll be sitting on a Celitalia Watt Superflow saddle with carbon rails, of course. And we come down to the drivetrain. It is, of course, Dura-Ace DR2 throughout, of course. He's got a 55-42 front ring with 11-28 at the back, which should be enough. 55. Some of the guys have gone 58 for this race, so I hope it's enough for him on those long, fast descents, but obviously 55 is bigger than most guys are riding most of the time. He's got Speedplay Wahoo pedals with the aero cap on the bottom, like so many of the pros we've seen, maybe a half a watt saving there. He has the 4-hour power meter in that cranks, and interestingly, these cranks are only 165. So he's gone for really short cranks. Apparently this is a recent change, but clearly he likes it. Maybe allows him to get into a more aerodynamic position. Interestingly, on a bike so well put together and kind of thought of everything, the junction box for the DR2 is very exposed. It's basically just sticking out of the side of the frame on the non-drive side. Don't think that's very neat for such a neat bike. On the back, he has literally just had installed the Ceramic Speed OSPW Aero, the brand new released, yet to be released, Aero OSPW system, oversized pulley wheel system from Ceramic Speed. That's on only 5 bikes at this race. A very select few have that pre-release technology available to them. His chain is a Makoff NTC or nanotube chain, so it's got that, they say it's the world's fastest chain, but so do a few other chain manufacturers. So it's got that special treatment on it. And then coming to his wheels. Now, this may not be his race setup. He's currently got an DT Swiss ARC 1100 set with 60 in the front and 80 in the rear, and he might race this, but he also might put on a disc. And looking at the other pros' bikes, I think a disc is probably going to be the right call. So I think he'll be putting on the DT Swiss ARC 1100 disc for the race, and it won't actually be this wheel. But his tires, Hutchinson Racing Lab, and it's got a little sticker on there that says prototype. So we're not exactly sure what these tires are, or whether they're brand new or whether they're going to be released. He's got 25mm in the front at the moment, 25mm in the front at the moment, and a 28mm at the back at the moment. But like I say, he may change that. He may change the wheels entirely. Well, I hope you've liked this look around Patrik Nilsson's BMC Red Bull Speedmachine. Be honest here, I did not know what to expect when I came here. Looking at the press releases of the Red Bull BMC Speedmachine, I wasn't sure how they were going to turn that into a functional race machine for an Ironman World Champs where Patrik Nilsson has to ride 180 kilometers. But I think they've done a pretty good job, actually. I think this will get him around the course. He's going to have a few challenges with that nutrition, I think, with the hydration, especially on a hot day. He's going to have to be filling this up quite often, and I'm worried that he might lose the cap on that thing, but maybe he's got a plan for that. I'm not really sure. We'll have a really close look on race day. If you've enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to GTN for more pro bikes and other triathlon content.